That doesn't look bad, but it's time for round two. Alright, recently I shaped this thing up, made a couple of cuts, got me a basic bowl shape going. Now it's time to turn this thing around and get it into something where I can actually take the bowl out, take the middle out. So what I've done is loosen up the screw chuck that I have in here just a little bitty bit. See what I'm talking about? That's it, one-way screw chuck. Now, I have this. I'm going to take an old glue block that I took off of something recently. I'm going to shape this up, get it right to go into the bottom of that piece. You got to get closer to see it. This is a piece of mahogany, spinning at about 1,000 RPMs. I want to clean this up first. And I don't need that much reach. Because the reach would not be my friend. Why wouldn't the reach be my friend? It's a leverage kind of thing. I don't need to be hanging out too far. I look on a straight line, I look down across here, and I can see that I'm a little dished out on the inside of the cut, so I need to pull it back. Okay, now to get it really straight, I normally rely on something that cuts very straight. That would be my double-sided negative rake scraper. Some folks call it a skew, but it works really well as a double-sided negative rake scraper. And it's got a good straight line on the bottom, and I can see I'm going to get really good contact all the way across. Now, that's my glue block, and that's what I'm going to need to hold this thing in order to get it lined up right. Glue block means I don't have to give up any thickness of lumber to get this thing working right. And I take my time, get this back where it's supposed to go, lock my headstock in place. Then I'm going to tighten it up. Now, break it free. That's running as true as it was running a little while ago. Now we're going to put the glue block on. I'd like you to notice that you see that little dot? That could very much be the center. But we're going to use that as a center just to line it up and get it on here. We're putting on with medium thick super glue, medium thick. Why? I don't want it to just run away. I don't want it to get lost. I want it to stay there. See that? Anything thinner and it would leave. I'll slide this down in there, find my center, and bring it up. Okay? Now, I am on that block, and I'm on there really well. Now, this may not be concentric to what I'm turning, but I'm going to show you how to fix that in just a moment. I let this sit. I allow the sitting time to be about 15-20 minutes. It's time for my break anyway, so break time. Been a little while. We had a major thunderstorm around here, and I was not coming into the shop with that rain, only because it's pretty dangerous. So this is the foot, and look how crooked it is. All right, I put it on there. That really wasn't a good center. So we're going to true it up. I'm going to use my gauge. This is going to be the holding, and I am still a little large for it. I showed you how to make this in another video, and just last week when I was in Phoenix, I saw at least 4 different demonstrators get the calipers and measure and come and measure and come. This is so village idiot simple. I mean, you measure it one time for that set of jaws, and you make this thing, and you never go back to the caliper again. It's an idiot's dream. Now, I made this a little bit of a negative rake on it, or a little bit of dovetail on it, on purpose, because when it's sitting in these jaws, I want the jaws to grab around it and pull on it. You understand? Okay. Because I don't want it to spit it back out. That'd be a terrible, terrible no-no. And I'm going to break it free and show you what I'm talking about, because I don't have a good view with the camera to show you what I was meaning with that dovetail. And I've seen people get hurt at demonstrations because they didn't understand it, or hands-on classes. This is what I'm talking about. Do you see the angle? I'm trying to get you wet. There you go. You see the angle that I have there? That angle is the same as the angle on the inside of these jaws. How do I know that? Because I made the tool to match it. Pretty simple. I just made me a tool that would match that profile. And now I'm set to go. But you do know I just screwed up because I didn't take the jaws completely out. Not jaws, the screw chuck. So we go to the old Italian slip joint plier. This one size fits all, good gizmo here. Alright, we take this out. Now, that now gives us a hole in the center of our piece that we can line up on, but watch it. It's just about right. Just about right. It's not truly centered because the jaws, pardon me, screw chuck didn't have a need to be dead centered. It can pull the fibers of the wood a little bit left or a little bit right. And that's not a good thing, because if we try to use that for the center, we could be off a little bit. So what I do, I re-true it. See that? Now, when I use my oversized cone on my revolving center and push on that, it'll stabilize it. I bring up the center, the revolving center, for a purpose, because I'm about to impart the most vibration this bowl is going to see the entire time we turn it when I start hollowing this out. And if I get a catch right now, I'm going to pull it off the block. And that would not be a good thing. So, I'm going to use a smaller gouge, and I'm just going to do some cuts to get rid of some wood. Speed of the lathe is about 1,000 RPM, so I'm comfortable with this. Didn't I talk about wood slicing when we got started? Look at the surface of that. Yeah, I'm so good, it's unbelievable. Oh wait, I'm not supposed to say that. That's what some of these people that do demonstrations say. Alright, let me see if I get this right. I used my tool properly and ended up with a really nice cut. That's what you're supposed to say. That I used my tool properly and ended up with a really nice cut. And that's what you need to do too. Let's get back over here again. Now, I want to take some more out of here and get this sliced in. Now, look. It's smooth. It's running true. Inside and out. This is really, really doing well. I'm going to go back out to the edge. I need to show you this because it's important that you understand it. So maybe I need to reposition you. I needed to get a better image of what's happening right here. The stick is back. Yeah, the stick is back. This is to show you open and close, and I put it right where it's at. I want to show you open and close. This is closed. You see this stick is almost vertical? I can get a little bit of cut right there. You see that little bit of cut I got on our corner? Right? That little bit of a cut will give me the control that I need to start across the face of that. But I have to be closed to get that control. Then I'm going to read that and I'm going to tilt it. Watch it go to 45 degrees. And then all my energy, you need to move again. Man, you always get in the wrong spot. I'll hit back. I'm still at about 1,000 RPMs. Some of y'all really bug me about that. Why don't you say how fast it is? Well, it's comfortably running. I could pull a Jimmy Clues on you and crank it up so much that I got to strap the lathe down or it'll get airborne. But Jimmy can turn that fast. He's comfortable at it. Well, I can too, but for you, I'm slowing it down. Just for you. Now, I'm going to go back over here. Watch. 0. There's the cut. I'm going to roll around to 45. Now, let me show you something. All the energy I have is going down this handle right along here. Watch. What I'm showing you is, see how slick that is? I didn't drive that and push it with this left hand. I didn't do that. That would be a no-no. Because I want this to slide down this piece and do a good straight cut. Let the tool do its job. Allow it. I'm going to come and get me another little bite right here. I'm going to come in about a quarter. See it? Then I'm going to open it up. Here's the deal. That cut was a 1/4 inch when I got to the center. A 1/4 inch of wood. Because it's sharp and because I'm letting it ride, no problem. Back up here to the 1/4 inch. Open it up. Now, I'm not stopping the camera because I want you to see something. I'm bragging, all right? You're looking at it. Looking right at it. (5/16 of an inch). That cut. and I had no effort. All I was doing is pushing on that tool handle and letting it slide down there, and that is baby butt smooth, well cut, no trash, no tear outs, no wood acne. And I'm catching hell about that new term, but it's true. Now, I'm going to get rid of some of the rest of this wood. Now, why did I bounce off there just now? Well, because I brought the handle around too much and I got off the cutting edge and onto the back. And it doesn't take long for me to check to feel how hot that is. Did you see that? I mean, I just touched it a little bit and I got to stop. So, with all that, I'm going to caliper this, see where we stand, and then we'll know what the next move is. We're at 1 inch right now, so we have plenty of room. I'm going to get this out the way. Probably throw it out in the yard. Get it out the way so we can continue this project. I'm not going to throw it in the yard. It's raining out there. Well, now, I just pulled the tool rest, pardon me, the headstock. I need to put labels on these. I lose track of what they are. I moved the headstock. I did it again. I moved the tailstock back, and I'm going to trim this off, get rid of this. This is still pretty solid, and I still have 1 inch to go. I don't want to keep this out front, so I want to get this off of here right now. And once I know what I can run, I don't have to go close to work it. Now, here's the deal. You see that hole? That's so inviting to just stick that in there and just... Alright. Did you hear those little catches? Did you? That was almost a jam, almost a catch. I don't need that right now. I need to get rid of the wood and get it nice. And if I had a catch, I'd probably split it off and be putting it along where its jaw to get it chucked back up. So it's time now to take your time, do nice cuts, and turn out your best work. That's what we're doing, okay? Now, look, I'm almost out of hole. I'm going to go back up here, and I can't do the ice cream stick here. But I'm almost vertical. Nice little cut, twist the handle, swing the handle, I ended up getting about 3/8 of an inch cut down there. I don't want to take that all the way across. Why? That's a lot of heat and a lot of energy. Don't break it off when you get to the middle. Let it cut all the way through. You can hardly see it. See that groove? That's 0, 0. And I know I'm using a 3/8 inch tool. So I know 3/8 inch tool. So I know I want to be a little bit below it. But that'll keep me from getting too high or too low when I get to the middle, and using the tool to leverage off the wood. If I leverage off the wood, I'm probably going to crack it and damage it. And I really don't want to do that. I want to slice. Coming to the center. Easy, 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 easy. Nice cut. Nice cut. I'll show you that. I'm bragging again, look. Not snapped off. Let me give you a heads up of where we are. This is 3/8 to 7/16. This is close to the 3/4. I want to put a nice sweep on this and take it all the way through. I don't want to catch me up in a corner, which I mean, I don't want it to be square in the corner. I want to roll that. It's going to change the outward and the inward appearance of the bowl will be a little bit different. But it will be pleasing, and that's what I'm going for, is pleasing. And this has already been commissioned by the wife. Management. Back up here. Close the flute. I don't know about you, but I feel so safe and secure with her chasing everything that moves. Keep it open, you'll get chatter. And I got to show you something. When I made that corner, do you see the handle? That's what happened. That's Lucy. It's raining outside. Lucy's hiding from the thunder. Hi, Lou. She ain't coming to see me either. Alright, now, we're there. This feels really, really nice. Good cut, no chatter. I'm going to go up here and pick up this cut again. And I'm going to push it across to the center. Now, if I close that flute, or don't let it cut, or stop it some way, I will get a chatter down in here across this bottom that I'll be sanding forever to get out. So the way I do it is keep that flute open, and we're doing really well. And now I see I had a little chatter over here. So, and I didn't see that a minute ago when I stopped it. I stopped it here, and I missed that little bit of chatter. We'll scrape that in a minute, get rid of it. Good scrape is a good friend. Let's go back up and clean this up. Again, don't push across that center. Let it cut. Alright, now feel it across there. That feels really good. I've got a nice scraper I really like. It's a 3/4 inch Sears. I'll put a new edge on it and we'll clean it up. That is the chatter I'm telling you. When I went around the corner, I must have put a little bit too much bevel on it, not enough cutter, and I ended up getting that chatter. And to get rid of it, I'm going to take this scraper. Now see, I've got one facet on that scraper. I sharpen it upside down on a grinder with it's negative. Okay? It pulls the wire. There's a definite wire on that edge. You sharpen it this way, you won't get that wire. So upside down, and we get it. Now we take it through this corner very lightly. And that little bit of chatter that we had in there is now gone, which makes for a nice finish on that. I do see a little ridge right here. You can see that little ridge. So I'm going to take that out a little bit. If I lose the edge on this, and I need to do refresh this, I can take a diamond card and pull bottom, pull down and put that edge back on it. Looking really nice. I think I'll be ready to do a little sanding in a moment. But just a little bit. To sand this out, this is self-propelled sander. That's 80 grit. I make these with one end straight, the other end at a 45. I would take this all the way through 220, not skipping any grits, and get all this cleaned up and get out of here. Alright? And if I find some little tears or some little blems in here, I would hit them with a little bit of wet sanding and when I get the 220 and see if I can raise them, because that'll help a lot with little tears that you might have. Now I don't see any right now. That doesn't mean I won't find any when I get the 220. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Join me again when I get to 220. While I am sanding this inside, this edge, I'm going to come within about 2 inches and do the curve on the far side. Why? Well, because it's easier to catch it now than when I flip it around. And again, I'll run through all the grits all the way up to make sure that I get the right sanding throughout the whole piece. Why? Because I want the right finish throughout the whole piece. Do you see that? Let's see if it'll balance out again. See those scratches? Those came in when I was at 80 grit. See them? Alright. I'd have to sand a lot to get them out, but I think they're compressed wood. So what I'm going to do is take some Sias off 180. Yeah, I did wet it down while it was on the lathe. You have to report me, because there's a whole lot of professional people out there saying don't ever wet sand on your lathe. If you do, make sure the water doesn't go into your drive or your motor. Let's say you have a Jet Mini. Put a piece of plastic down. I treat the waves with the product called glide coat. Alright, Bostic makes it. What I put on my ways to keep them slick. Keep stuff from sticking to them. And it also keeps them from rusting. But that's what I'm going to do. Is sand this with 180 grit paper and see if I can raise those up and get rid of them. And I'm also going to address some of these other surfaces a little bit. And this is Cyasoft, and it comes from Vince Welsh at Vince's Wooden Wonders. And a link for that's on my home page. With that in mind, with what in mind? Don't you love when they say that? Rather, with that in mind, considering this, alright, these marks, they're going to rise. They're going to come up. I'm not going to see it tonight. So, what I'm going to do is make a third on this, because I have to get rid of that ugly glue block, fix that bottom to make it a little more where it sit on the table better, and probably put a little sealer on this puppy. And that's going to be in the very next video. The rain's coming, and I'm going. Thanks for joining me as we've been making shavings. Check out the website, www.eddiecastellan.com. Good God, somebody bring me art. Man, it's been going on all day. Look. Dolphin. Really?